Hey, how are you? Such a beautiful day today. Blue sky, fresh, and tide is out and on the foreshore. What could be better? Now, oh my gosh, how fortunate am I to be able to spend the morning on the foreshore with, well, I want to say the David Beckham of mudlarking. Can I say that? Nicola White of Tideline Arts. I called her the mother of mudlarking. She said she's the mother of mudlarking, and I believe that to be true. She's great. So I was introduced to mudlarking actually through Nicola's videos on YouTube. This is during the pandemic, post-pandemic. They kept popping up on my feed, and I've been metal detecting for over 40 years, you know. But living in London, it's just kind of hard to find somewhere where you can metal detect legally, of course. So when I discovered mudlarking, I was fortunate enough that I could get my license, and then went out on the foreshore and using Nicola's videos as a guide, and other mudlarks, of course. So to be able to spend the morning just walking the foreshore with her, and getting an insight into who she is and what she's found, and some of the skills that she's learned over the years was just fantastic. I also wanted to interview her and just find out a little bit more about her. So what you'll see is just a taster of that morning. Anyway, hope you enjoy. Thank you.
That's another nice feature, isn't it? That's clearly been put there. Some more.
That's interesting. Is it like a cross?
Yeah.
Oh, and there's another one of those anchor points, mooring points.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah. What do you enjoy about mudlarking then?
I think it fulfills that. I used to, guys, so I've been metal detecting for 40 years, and I think when I moved to London, I could never really find an outlet for metal detecting, because I mean, where can you metal detect in London other than here? But I never realised about mudlarking until I came across you. Oh. And then this was post-lockdown, post-lockdown, I think.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so you introduced me to kind of...
Oh, I look like gold.
Yeah, for one moment.
That's slippery, be careful.
But I think it's just to experience something that normally you would never see, and all those amazing things. I mean, you know.
Yes, absolutely. No, it's all about that, isn't it?
Especially when you live in a city like this.
Yeah.
A beautiful, amazing, dirty, filthy, incredible city with noise and too many people, and then you come here and it's in the middle of it.
Yeah, I know. It's something else. It's quite mindful as well.
Yeah.
Isn't it? When you're walking along, a bit like sort of a meditation, you know? There's that excitement as well that you just might, you know, what are you going to find today, even if it's just a little button, you know, you'll find something. Like we just found that pottery. I mean, that's, for me now, if I don't find anything else today, that's great, because I can take that pottery and it's like a whole story about it. Yeah.
That round shape, you know, when you're come across something and you see the circular shape, that feeling, you know, that feeling. As a metal detectorist, you know that feeling. And as a mudlark, I think you get that sense of the excitement of what it could be.
Yes.
And I think that's part of it as well, isn't it?
Definitely.
Because it's a real treat to be out with you today.
It's performing the extraction.
Yeah, so we're going to have Nicola White here performing one of her famous extractions.
First of all, let's have a little feel of it, see if we can get a sense of what it is. It does feel like an 18th century pipe. Right, let's have a look. Let's do do this little extraction here, a little wiggle. Oh, look, there's more to come.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, that's actually...
Oh my goodness me. Ooh. Oh, there you go. Look at that. That's perfect.
Actually, that's amazing, isn't it? That's I thought that was just a bomb.
No, I must admit, I didn't think it was going to be this long. I was surprised.
That's incredible.
So
how would you date that?
Rinse off. And it's handy as the pool. So this is definitely early to mid 18th century. I'd say about 1740s. That shape.
Is that because the size of the bowl?
Yeah, it's the shape of the bowl. As you know, there's a whole art to dating clay pipes, and this one fits into that 18th century bracket pretty well.
And what was the name of the tobacco at the bottom? You said
well, a dottle. If you're
dottle.
lucky, you get a dottle of tobacco at the bottom, because there's something quite magical about finding old tobacco that's been preserved by the mud and packed in there by somebody who was walking this earth in the 1700s. I just think that's extraordinary. Nobody has touched this pipe since that person.
Would this have been thrown away, dropped, lost?
Probably somebody smoked it, maybe on their break between caulking a little bit of oakum into a ship's side, and then they've smoked it. It might have, they might have finished off most of the tobacco and then just tossed it away.
So they're disposable?
Yes, absolutely. They were disposable. Now we think, gosh, look at that, isn't it amazing? We wouldn't want to throw it away, but they were very numerous. There were a lot of plate pipes around, and from what I understand anyway, they were just smoked once or twice and then tossed away.
Wow. And would you get them pre-packed as well?
Sometimes I've heard that, yes, they were pre-packed. Sometimes in taverns they were pre-packed and then sold with a pint of beer.
Right. It's just beautiful the way it comes out.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
So that would be, I would imagine, a horse or a cow, isn't it?
Yes, I should think so.
Have you ever found human bones?
I have, yeah. I have.
Oh, really?
I found a couple of jaw bones and part of the skeleton.
In town?
Yes.
Oh, really?
So, obviously, I reported them to the police, and they took away one of the jaw bones and tested it and sent me the test results. They said it dated to anywhere between the 17th century and the 19th century, so it wasn't particularly enlightening in that sense, but I like to think that it came from somebody who was on the prison hulks in the 1800s. That's my theory. Yeah, very sad.
Why?
Because the area where I found it, there were prison hulks, and as far as I understand, often they used to just throw people. Well, they were buried in unmarked graves along the river, so it would, it might not be, but I guess that's where my imagination has taken me. Partly because I'm also extremely interested in the history of the prison hulks, and I was studying that at the time. But yeah, the general area that it was found.
It's amazing how many lives the Thames has claimed over centuries, more so than you would ever think.
Yeah.
And you see the reports of people falling over drunk hundreds of years ago, 200 years, but even now, but less now, probably more so then, because they lived on the rivers, and there was a lot more ships, and it was a working kind of river, wasn't it?
It was, and back in the Victorian times and before Victorian times, it was such a filthy river that if somebody fell in, then nobody's going to come in and get you out. It was just, you'd be left to your own devices. So.
And the undercurrents and the currents is just so strong here, isn't it?
Yeah, they are. It's beautiful iridescence, isn't it? Isn't that lovely? Whew. I mean, that would have been part of a 17th or 18th, early 18th century onion bottle.
Amazing.
They are just.
It's what causes the iridescence?
Well, do you know what? I'm not absolutely certain.
Is it part of the bottle, natural?
No, it's not. It's something that comes to the surface, I think, and then creates that colour. And often, of course, when it's dried, it then flakes off. It's quite hard to preserve that iridescence.
It's funny, you know, when I take stuff sometimes home from the foreshore and you clean it and wash it and it dries out, it looks totally different, doesn't it?
It does,
and
yes.
it kind of, I end up taking it back because it looks better where it came from. And I feel kind of sorry that I've taken it out of its where it's living
habitat.
Yeah, the amount of bricks, like there's a brick that says cow from a Cohen brick, and it just said cow, and I thought, oh, fantastic. I took it home and it dried out, and it didn't have that rich depth of colour and the green. It was just
yeah,
so anyways,
it's like sea glass, isn't it?
Yeah.
It looks so jewel-like, but when it dries, it's not quite so. This is absolutely brilliant because that, to be honest with you, that's just a whole story in that broken boat.
So what is it you found? Tell me.
Well, I'm absolutely overjoyed. This might look like a broken piece of dirty old pottery, but actually what's on there is really significant, because on there it would have been Metropolitan Asylums Board, and right where we are right now, we are on the site of where the Metropolitan Asylum Board's river ambulance station was. And during the smallpox epidemic, the late 19th century, when loads and loads of people died of smallpox, here they used to have the patients come along, they would do a triage, and then they would send them down the river to the isolation ships at Longreach in Kent. And so this is such a brilliant piece of history. It would have had a Metropolitan Asylums Board on it, so this broken fragment tells a huge story.
Is that a dinner plate?
Well, yeah, it would be a plate, definitely. Yeah, that's a plate. So this is great because very close by there is a place which has a little display cabinet of these finds related to the Metropolitan Asylum Board, and I'll be able to give them this to put in their case.
How amazing.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. That's the kind of find that does it for me, though. Again, Richard would know, but it's beautiful, that green glaze. I mean, that could be Tudor.
Yeah, so the only thing I know is, if it's green, it might be medieval or Tudor or something, and then that's it. But that's as much as I know. But you know, Richard is incredible. Actually, it's just when he walks down and he picks something up and he knows it's like that. It's like this big, and he knows.
I know
with such certainty.
He does. He's excellent. Think about the community of mudlarks. You get some people who are experts on pottery, and some people who are really great on maritime naval tools or things like that. Other people are great on clay pipes. Don't look at me. So it's nice to be able to draw on all of that knowledge, isn't it? Hill.
Was it like an overnight thing that suddenly it changed in terms of?
It was.
Or gradual.
It was more gradual, but I realised that there was something about it that people really loved, because I was gaining more and more subscribers, and people were commenting and saying how much they enjoyed it. So that kind of spurred me on, I suppose. And it was lovely to be sharing something that I love so much with lots of other people who seem to just really enjoy the experience, and the noise of the water, that sense of just being on the foreshore and looking. And a lot of people who watch my videos seem to want that calm. You know, some of them might suffer from anxiety or a bit stressed, and settling down at the end of the day and watching some mudlarking seems to be a nice tonic for a lot of people. A bit like it is for us as we're actually doing it.
Yeah. Amazing. Do you get much negativity online?
You know, I'm really fortunate because I don't really. Very occasionally I'm going to get somebody who says something that's not particularly pleasant, but you know what? They just all go in the little blocked room together. They can all have a nice conversation.
That's a great way of looking at it.
So off you go to the blocked room and you can chat there amongst yourselves. You know, you don't have to. I just don't react to it, because there's always somebody who wants to say something to upset you. But no, on the whole, I'm so fortunate, so very fortunate. I have a very, very lovely community of people who, I think people as well, they love trying to find out more about what you found. You know, if you're there saying, oh look, I found this, does anybody know what it is? People really enjoy that. You know, it's the engagement.
I think it's great for people on the other side of the world. I get comments from America and Australia and India, you know, who could never dream of doing what we do, and I think what we do and the fact we record it gives them access to that. Yeah. That they can always be walking on the foreshore with us.
Yes.
And experiencing what we do through our eyes. That's beautiful to take that across the world, isn't it? What's the dream?
What's the dream?
Sorry, big question, isn't it? You don't have to answer that.
Oh, let me have a think about that.
Yeah, no, do.
I have so many dreams. What's the dream? Well, I mean, like I was mentioning to you earlier, having a big platform like this, I look upon it as a real blessing, you know, and I actually feel like I want to be able to do something with that, you know, to spread joy and inspiration, and, you know, that's starting to happen, and so if I can enlarge on that, then that would be already on the way to my dream.
I think it's amazing to have that spirit to contribute with something that you do. I think you're in a, I'm going to say, privileged situation. Definitely. I use that in inverted commas.
Yeah, I totally am. I absolutely am. It's like an amazing gift. And, you know, if I can let other people have a platform and come into the limelight too with that, then that gives me such a lot of pleasure.
What keeps you... God, this is another big question. You can no, you can ignore it.
Opening my heart and soul here on the Foreshore.
No, I'm just intrigued in you because for many reasons, and not in a kind of stalky way. Not at all. What keeps you going?
What keeps me going?
Life.
In life.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge part of it. Clearly.
Yeah. What keeps me going? What keeps me going? It's.
You can think
let me have a think about that.
It's a big question.
About that. Yes. Oh, I don't know. It's. Inspiration, creativity, joy. You know.
I think because it's I think when you have a purpose, isn't it?
Yes.
It allows you to move forward in life. But when you struggle to find a purpose, it's
absolutely.
And as you say, when people reach out about anxiety and that you kind of help them with that, I think it's it's interesting. Then you know what keeps you.
And I love telling stories about people that have been forgotten as well, and people that might need a story told. I mean, that might sound a little bit profound, but when I found my pewter tavern mug, I then uncovered a story related to it about a man who drowned himself because he was rejected by somebody who he loved. And, you know, just to be able to tell his story and sort of lift him up a bit because of that find, it just, I don't know, I think there are stories that need to be told, and for what reason we might not know, but I just think it's a really important thing to do.
How incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's really special, and I'm finding more and more of those stories, and it really excites me. Yeah.
I find same here. It's great when you find stuff, but when you find a story, when you research just like you did on there, just the name of something, and then this whole world emerges.
That's right, because it's not all about kings and queens, is it? You know, there's the ordinary poor person who really nobody knew their story at all, and we get the opportunity to do that when we're picking up little bits of, I don't know, nails, tools, bits of pottery with the names on like that, you know, a mug with a name on. It's people that might not necessarily have ever had a chance to tell their story. So I love that.